good afternoon. This is the first ever broadcast of INSAKA and we are super excited. Good afternoon.
Uyumula basa wachikope otulanda pafichitika mu wikala chalo tulalanda po kusambirishano kupaisha nyamano.
On this episode, we are going to be looking at all the myths, misconceptions, and all issues that surround this COVID-19 pandemic and its vaccine.
Elo nshirami londo lwela ifimbusa tukweto obushikubwa lelo ndefu atumfwe kwefe abantu bale tontonkanya pamutwe otulelanda pwelelo.
Munga ene bakamba ufuna umbera with vaccine ave meaning vaccine. What is vaccine?
Oh, so imonjepe mwa imvera.
Nenjepe na imvera ngani ya vaccine.
So nochichi samkaibo chitsako vaccine.
Ngabo chitsapo. So ngunchaira introduce na hizi omwedi the vaccine when I hear the term vaccine, simply means that it's I'm sure it's a medicine which has been made which avoids us from certain diseases. Or maybe if you have been infected before and something which has been created which is isolating us from diseases, it's a protection actually.
Okay. So does it mean that muntu ngachitsa vaccinate nishisafunika kuvala mask nosamba kumanja nisanga dware COVID?
Actually, I've never come across that. But there's no reason of putting on a mask because already you have been vaccinated. It simply means that you're protected. And what's the purpose of a vaccine if you have already been vaccinated and you're putting on a face mask? Makes no difference. And why should you put on a face mask when you know that already you have been vaccinated?
So ufunikira che wakula sako nyereti fanga wakula sa nishi corona singa kugwe ngogwire corona.
Oh, so muntu akachitsa vaccine nishikwasira corona sanga idwale
but sanga dwale
so nishina mask safunika kuvala
but mask yafunikira che kuvala che.
Oh, manje nishafunika kuvala chani mask ngai asanga idwale
in case mona so in case afunikira che kuvala kari stuza buno mbono mangwana mamene wanaipangira vestuza ife twenda chewa tulasa o budambi tumilase nyere tini kuzichingirira.
Okay.
Mona so stuza so ifunika che kuvala.
Now that we have some background on what we are going to be discussing today, we know what we're going to be talking about. From the video that we just played, you gave us your answers, you gave us what you know on the COVID-19 and the vaccine. So we are now joined by Dr. Kabeta, a public health specialist that's going to help us answer your questions and help us clear your myths and misconceptions on the vaccine.
Mwaiseni kabidi mwaikaleni mwaiseni kunsaka.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so we've had quite a number of things. People are saying the vaccine is population control. It's man-made. Someone made it so that looking at the numbers in the world, maybe we are too much now, we're a lot. So people are saying it was population control. It was made just to clear out people. Do you think, or what would you tell people that think that way? Is COVID-19 population control?
Okay, so we'll start with what is a vaccine? What is COVID-19?
Okay.
I think this is where we should start from so that we can have a good flow in the questions.
Okay.
Because when you discuss COVID-19 is a viral disease, a viral disease caused by a virus known as coronavirus. And this virus causes flus, sneezing, coughing, and eventually you have severe disease complications such as renal failure, lung failure, and eventually death. Okay, so now there is a vaccine that is meant to protect us from getting the severe forms of these symptoms, just like our BCG protects us from getting severe forms of TB.
Okay.
So now the question comes, population control. No. My wife was actually pregnant, took the vaccine, and we had a very healthy baby. There are so many people still...
She's okay?
Yes, definitely. There are so many people still delivering, still getting injected and having children with no complications. On the other hand, people who have not been vaccinated, because remember we heard a lot about clots, okay? The chances of getting a clot is higher when you get COVID than when you get the vaccine. So the women who get COVID whilst they're pregnant and they're not vaccinated, they get clots. So they're usually having stillborns. Yes. So that's why we're encouraging, particularly pregnant women to get vaccinated. If you know that you're a high risk, at risk woman, you move around a lot, you work in the clinics and whatnot, protect yourself, protect your unborn baby, get vaccinated.
Okay.
No one is trying to clear you.
All right, interesting.
Inshindano ya kuchingirira ububulwele bwa COVID nangu mutsungu vaccine ya COVID tule umfa abantu ati yuni 666 twaumfa it's a mark of the beast bushe inshindano ya kuchingirira COVID muchine ni nembo ya kwa satana chiwa.
Okay, so the way I understand the question, forgive me, I think you are asking if it is the mark of the beast,
mark of the beast,
yes.
or if it is the end of the world 666.
Yes, because most people are
So-
saying it's a mark of the beast.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. Many pastors have died from COVID, and they are now being vaccinated. And they're actually encouraging their church members to get vaccinated because they know that we are all at risk. It is not the mark of the beast. If I'm not wrong, I stand to be corrected. I believe the mark of the beast should come after the beast comes. So we haven't seen the beast
Come on,
yet.
dog.
We haven't seen the beast yet. So, you know, I feel like this, when I speak like this, someone should say, go deeper, Papa. Yes, exactly.
I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but to take you back a bit, Doc, you said you encourage pregnant women to get the vaccine. But then there's me and the people out there that haven't had kids yet. And people say, no, if you get the vaccine, you're going to be sterile, you cannot have children. And I'm scared. I want to have kids. So is COVID-19 really going to make me sterile? The vaccine, sorry, is it going to make me sterile?
Great. So the vaccine, so I'll talk about the groups that are eligible to get the vaccine.
Okay.
So basically, if you're above 12 years old and you have 2 eyes,
Okay.
1 nose, a mouth, and 2 ears, you can get vaccinated. Okay? If you're above 12 years old.
Okay.
That's basically it. Now, when it goes particularly to women or particular groups that are saying, are they at risk? So when you look at women who are in childbearing age and they think the vaccine may make them at risk, no. There are women who have who did not have children, were vaccinated, and they're finding they're still able to conceive kids.
So doctor, how often bushe ine njeneti ya kuchingirira obulwere tulingira kuyitungwa shani? How often are we supposed to get this
Okay, great. That's a very good question. So the vaccine was made 2 years ago. So we know now that the vaccine protects us for 2 years. We're still waiting to see how far we
It
go.
has a time frame.
To see if it has a time frame. Because remember, we got the vaccine and now we are getting boosters. Remember, even measles has a booster.
Yeah,
All these vaccines, sometimes they do have boosters just to boost the immunity. I remember I got the first set of vaccines and I had no reaction. But with the second one, within hours I had a reaction because now my immune system was ready. Okay, so the booster simply ups your response to the infection or to the virus.
Okay, so there's this question that has been going around. You've answered my question on women being sterile, but then there's this thing where they say, no, it's going to cause erectile dysfunction, and our men are scared. We are saying it's going to cause erectile dysfunction. So can you just give us clarity on that one?
On if the vaccine has caused causes erectile dysfunction. Well, I've just had a kid, so I don't think so.
Okay, Doc, okay.
So that's from personal experience, but we have the statistics on erectile dysfunction in general have not changed. What has changed is in those unvaccinated women, their chances of stillborn babies or miscarriages is higher.
So why are we getting it if we're going to have stillborn
No,
babies?
I'm saying those
if you are not
unvaccinated.
vaccinated, okay,
exactly,
it is higher as
the chances
compared.
are, yes, as compared to a vaccinated woman.
So the same reason that you do not get erectile dysfunction when you're vaccinated, even when you have COVID, you can't have erectile dysfunction?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Let me say I've had COVID, right? But I'm okay now.
Okay.
Does it put me at higher risk of having erectile dysfunction?
No, it does not. No, it does not. It does not put you at risk of having erectile dysfunction or not having children or having stillborns. What puts you at risk of all these things is getting COVID and severe forms of, because if you're unvaccinated, you shall get severe forms of COVID. We have noticed actually in the COVID center that everyone who's like, I think that was 2 days ago, everyone who was vaccinated, only one person, everyone who was admitted rather, only one person was vaccinated. And this person who was admitted had COVID and had heart failure as well. Okay, and that's what made the patient demise. But everyone else was admitted because they were vaccinated. They were not as severe, and within a few days they had gone home.
Okay, Doc, we are looking at the COVID awareness. Muchivemba okulanda ati mukusambirisha kwa ubulwele ubwaisa ubwa COVID-19 bishetule mona. Is it enough? Do you think there is enough awareness out there mukumona kwa bulwele kwisa kwa bulwelo?
So when it comes to sensitization, I believe sensitization can never be enough.
Okay.
There'll always be someone unsensitized. So what we are doing as the Ministry of Health under the direction of our minister in the government of the Republic of Zambia is that we are trying to broaden the sensitization like this. I'm sure I was invited here a few hours ago and I've rushed because this is an opportunity to tell the truth and shame the devil.
And we thank you for that.
So we have all these platforms, radio, TV. We actually have, I'm just from the prisons. This morning I was giving sensitization talks on COVID-19, on TB, on HIV. I'm just from another workshop where I was doing the same. We are trying at each and every point. On your radio, you're going to hear about COVID-19 and the vaccine. We're doing the best that we can, the most that we can. Yes, but what we need is people to share the right kind of information. Join us in sensitization. Share the 5 golden rules. Share very good messages between each other so that we can all bring about the end of this very annoying pandemic. I think you can admit it's very annoying to keep putting on masks and whatnot.
And it's very annoying.
Exactly.
And Doc, personally, I have a question that's been bothering me for some time because I am so high on social media. I am always on social media. So there's a time that we saw a video trending where they got a phone and put it on someone that had been vaccinated, and it stuck.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it stuck. So my question is, what is it that is in the vaccine that's making everyone stuck to my skin?
I saw another video. It was actually, so even me, I've seen the video. So there's the coin, and then there's the light.
And there's even the knife.
And then there's also, yes, things stick.
Yeah.
So apparently, that man was actually arrested for making such, I think that was in China, he was actually arrested for making such false videos.
We've had such videos in Zambia.
Yes, these are things where someone just decides to make a video for popularity's sake.
Okay.
I hear that on YouTube and fora such as that, as a video trends, you make more money. And those are agents of confusion. So I got vaccinated, I got boosted, and when I got vaccinated, I was very interested. I put my phone there, it fell.
I also did it.
Yes, the phone fell, the screen cracked. So now I was the one who was a fool. I put a coin, it never stuck. I put a light, and I think anyone who's vaccinated, what you need to do is that try to check anyone who's vaccinated. Take a phone, a coin, and try to put on them and see if it will stick. That's the best way. Please try to prove these myths. Let's try to prove them before we start sharing. Let's try to prove them wrong. You know, don't just share anyhow because you might share with someone who won't get vaccinated and they will die.
So there, Doc, you talked about pastors dying of COVID. As a doctor, what are you saying to the church, especially that pastor that is preaching COVID and vaccination as a mark of the beast? What do you have to say?
One thing I was actually saying that I think as in our multi-sectoral response, different sectors, we need to start working with the clergy. And I think the first part is we need to educate the clergy. Them spreading such messages actually shows a knowledge gap which we need to fill. So I was actually speaking to someone this afternoon about how we need to have an interaction between the church mother bodies and the public health so that even as they go, they have the right kind of information to give out. We need to consult. We don't need to just tell them. We need to consult them and ask them about the timeline in the Bible, about 666, how it comes about, and if COVID appears like it's 666. Because they are some of them may be preaching misinformation. So we need to have that interaction, and before we spread such messages, let's do the right kind of research. And I think we are headed there because we have health promotion officers giving talks on Saturdays to the SDAs, on Sundays to every other denomination. All you have to do is just pick up the phone, call us, ask us to come through,
Okay, so we are tired. I mean, we are tired. From the genesis of the pandemic, we've been taught to wear masks. Sometimes you can't even enter a certain outlet without having your mask. But now, things have changed. It's people are just like whatever, you know. So I don't know if it's called COVID fatigue. People are tired. So
Yeah, no, it's something. I was actually, I think, I was actually having the same kind of discussion where we're saying that over time we are now getting a bit more lax with public health measures. You know, I've had COVID 3 times. I've been, I think at Levy they now have a room reserved for me because I've been there so much. Okay, so I'm also a culprit in relaxing my measures.
Wait, sorry, you said they have a room for you because you've been there so much as a patient?
So at this point,
and you are vaccinated and you keep on having the vaccine?
No, I wasn't vaccinated.
Oh, okay.
But since I've been vaccinated, I haven't had a single episode of COVID.
So in short here, you're
All of
trying
it
to
was-
tell me you can have the vaccine even when you are... You can have COVID even when you are vaccinated.
Let's go back a bit.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that I got COVID 3 times.
Okay.
All this was before I was vaccinated.
Okay.
And then this whole year after getting vaccinated, I've not had COVID. But you can get COVID when you are vaccinated, except you won't have severe symptoms. Just like this vaccination against TB protects you against severe forms of TB. You only have the respiratory kind of TB instead of TB meningitis, TB of the bone, TB of the abdomen. So the vaccines are basically meant to either prevent disease or prevent severe forms of the disease.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow. The COVID. So, like with my personal experiences is that whenever I put on a mask, if I put my mask on, I get sick. I feel suffocated and all that. So what would you advise me? Is there any other way, maybe apart from me putting on the mask? Because
Okay, so firstly, I would advise you to keep putting on your mask. You get used to it. The most important thing is when...
2 years down the line,
Don't worry, you are going to get used. Just clip it on top here so that your breathing can be proper. And then when you're handling your mask, make sure that you don't touch the front part of the mask because this is the most infected part of the mask. So touch the strings instead and afterwards sanitize your hands after touching the mask.
So, Doc, I have this question, right? Some of us live in 2-roomed houses. My husband is there, my kids are there, my mother is there, and I get COVID. I test positive for COVID at the hospital. Then they tell me to go home and self-quarantine. So, is that really helping me? Because honestly, people are now being skeptical. That's why they're asking these questions. Is COVID really there if I'm able to go home and be fine?
Okay, so remember that the first thing to remember is that we're different human beings. Your allergies are not my allergies. The way I react to drugs is different from the way you react to drugs. For instance, just I have a cheese allergy. Not many Zambians have such an allergy. So even when you get a disease, your experience will be different from everyone else. You will have no symptoms whilst others will be admitted. So those who are admitted are usually the severe patients, the ones who have diseases that need extra support, oxygen, IV fluids and whatnot. The ones told to go home are the milder patients. Now, when you go home, you're ideally supposed to isolate, sleep on a bed on your own and isolate from everyone else. But then you now bring a nice scenario of the average Zambian who lives in a 2-roomed house. So the options available to you is either get everyone in the house tested. That's the first one. Get everyone in the house tested because of exposure. Or you can assume everyone in the house is positive. That means you are all quarantining. You are all not leaving the yard. You are all just staying there. But then the positive patient must put on a mask all the time.
Just there, Doc. Why are you not giving vaccination to abana abano nofuta mlepelo yumtu wa kuchingirira obulwere kuba nabali below 18? Bushena bena bala namlakwata kwa patient ba COVID abanda 5 maybe.
Because recently we had a case of a baby that died from COVID.
Yes, very good question. So one, we're vaccinating people who are under 18 but above 12. 2, the thing is that it's just about the research that is going on. Remember that during the first waves, it's the adults who were dying in the most, in the biggest group. So the research started with them. And now that we're noticing that even kids are getting it more, the research is continuing. And in other countries, they are vaccinating as low as 5 years old. As low as 5. And research is continuing to see the safe, what we want to know is the safe dose. The safe dose to give and bring the dose will bring immunity and not kill the patient. That's the most important thing. The vaccine is potent in whatever age except the dose. That's the most important thing. Yes.
Doc, thank you so much for coming. Did you learn something? Were your misconceptions cleared?
I
I was thinking I'm not going to have kids myself. Doc, thank you so much for answering our questions. A lot has been cleared. Is it?
I've been cleared, especially Pabu Fiasha.
So, Doc, you are going to be answering questions from the general public now. We'll be right back. We are going to be answering your questions together with the doctor. That's why he's here, so that everything is cleared. There's a number on your screen that you're going to call in. That is 0954 621150. 0954 621150. Make sure you call in and we'll be able to answer your questions.
Mwabwele ni mkwai kuli program wesu UNSAKA ninkwateli shona kabiri ba doctor wesu bushe covid ila pola na mapepo out in Jesus name. Yena pali yomlela ndakwatishani twebenko.
I think it's better to ask the pastors, but so far no, because even the pastors are dying. Okay, so no, I do not think. But you know, you can never put God in a box. God can do above and beyond.
Okay,
but so far,
just hold it there. We seem to have a caller. Okay, give us your question. Thank you for joining us and give us your question.
Hello. I have a question about COVID. Okoyambile, especially. Kulisano abantu kulanda ti iba ipangire mulabu kutira baipaye abantu abako Africa.
Yeah, population
so twalisa mona sana abantu kamba kokufa kuma Europe na kwa America bati ku Africa kuliko fie inflation one bali fo abantu bati tebengi okupalanya na ku Europe na ku Africa. So ni difference nshiyalengere okutira ati abantu belafwa mu musango bafuire okufyalo fyabasungu. Question yimbi onkwete yakutira yimbi efya abantu baliranda especially pa social media chakutira ati vaccine nayo balefwa ya abantu ati population ipwe mu Africa, especially if you are under tinomba n'abaana even up to 5 years kuti bakwata vaccine kuti mwandondolwerako why if fintu baletwe bati tuleepoka era tulepera n'abaana besu. Natasha.
Interesting questions, Doc. What's your say?
So I think I'll start with the population control. We dealt with that one actually. You find that especially when it came to the vaccine. So when the vaccine first came to UTH, did you, if any of you ever went to the queues, you'd notice that it was mostly people who are not Zambian. The Chinese, the white people, they're the ones who were actually in the queue. So you find that if the white people want to queue, why would they be there to receive the vaccine? You know, even just the giving of children, you find that the people who are non-Zambians, they are the highest number of people who are giving their children this vaccine in order to protect them, because they know the importance of this vaccine. Yes. You seem skeptical.
If I heard her right, she was asking to say, why is it that European countries got vaccinated first, but they had a lot of cases as compared to us that got vaccinated later?
The time they were having high number of cases, they were not yet vaccinating.
Okay.
Yes, they were not yet vaccinating. But then now that their vaccination numbers are high, you find that their deaths are now low. Yes. So you find that even on our statistics, the daily statistics that we release, we are finding that the number of vaccination or the number of people vaccinated daily is going up, whilst the number of deaths has gone to 0. We're having 1,000 cases in a day, but then you only have 3 admissions and 0 deaths. That is a good picture, as opposed to the third wave, where I was watching from the hospital room on oxygen with liver failure. I was noticing that there were 10 deaths from COVID. And these are people who you can see that one has died. He will appear on TV. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So believe me, these are good times and they are getting better. Get your vaccine. Roll up your sleeve. Get jabbed and don't be a danger to people around you. Protect the community around you because one, you don't want to die. Two, you don't want your family to die. You don't want to transmit the infection to people around you.
Okay, tuwapokela kwa kulilamya abale tumakola kuti batu ipsham kwae. Hello, caller.
Hello, my name is Achinyeta Wangachivinga and I'm here with a question concerning coronavirus, specifically about the vaccine. So my question is, why is it that even a person who is fully vaccinated can still get to have coronavirus? How effectively is the vaccine? Thank you.
Ili pusherio ba mwebanga nganga ya fipatala fotolanda mchibenda muletufunda kwa tshanya.
Okay, so one thing I have to bring out is that I'm not a vaccinologist or an immunologist. So we all differ. Our resistance to things differs. You notice children don't get it as much as we do, and even their symptoms are very mild, mostly. But then they still get severe disease and they still die. You were talking about a 1-year-old who actually, I'm going to tell you about a 3-month-old who died. You see that? So the thing is that it is important, we have different reactions to diseases. So we all react very differently. Some, even with the vaccine, some won't get side effects, whilst with others, they'll get side effects. With COVID, some will just have a flu, whilst others will die. So we are all different. This is my answer to that question. We are all different. Yes.
So we seem to have another caller. Thank you for joining us.
So I have a question. Can I still get the vaccine even though I have underlying issues?
That's a very good question. So remember, the people who usually have underlying diseases are at higher risk of getting COVID because of the different stresses in their body.
Okay.
The COVID, or rather the virus which causes COVID, will make the situation, if you've got diabetes, your sugars will be worse to control. Hypertension, difficult. Heart failure,
so
difficult.
Those are underlying conditions.
They get worse. They get worse when you've got COVID. So it is better to get vaccinated to protect yourself from getting the worst conditions.
I've actually heard someone say my doctor advised me not to get the vaccine because I've got a condition.
No, that's a lie. We need to check. I think she meant her which doctor. Those are the only ones who can advise such things. Bashinganga. Yes. So remember what I said, if you've got 2 ears, 2 eyes, and you're above 12, you can get vaccinated.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, do we have another caller?
Okay. I haven't had COVID and were recovered from it. Does it mean a person is now protected by natural immunity that they can't get COVID-19, or do they still need to get the COVID-19 vaccine? Then another thing that I would like to find out, if someone is currently having COVID-19, how safe is it for a COVID-19 vaccine to be administered to them?
Okay.
There's a question though.
Great. So I think the first question was about the immunity, the natural immunity. So I've had COVID 3 times. So clearly,
Being a doctor for that matter.
Yes, the exposure. And I've heard of people who have had it 2 times, 4 times, you know. So there is no immunity. It's like the flu, the way it keeps coming and going. That's the way COVID will keep coming and going if we don't get vaccinated and we don't protect each other. I think, what was the second question about?
The second question was, why do I need to get the vaccine if I'm okay?
If
I'm not sick, there's no symptom.
Because you're going to transmit it to someone who gets symptoms and die. Okay. And then if you have COVID, active COVID, you can't get vaccinated until the COVID is done. Then you get vaccinated because we don't want to mix the side effects of the symptoms and the vaccine. Because people will be saying, no. Because I got the vaccine, that's why my heart started failing. No, it's because you had COVID. That's why your heart started failing.
I actually heard someone, I have the vaccine, but then I'm not getting sick. What is it doing in my body if I'm not getting sick? You know,
it is making sure you don't get sick.
That's why you're not getting sick.
That's why you're not getting
Simple
sick.
math.
Yeah.
So before taking the vaccine, Doc, do I have to do the test first? You make sure that I'm negative, then you vaccine me, or it's
We'll screen you. We'll screen you, ask if you are pregnant, one, if you have any underlying health issues, if you have allergies, and then we're going to also ask for your age, obviously, and then we'll give you a jab.
Okay.
So we'll also screen you for the symptoms of COVID.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you do have any of the symptoms of COVID, we'll test you. And then, because right now we're testing only symptomatic patients.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Get it. We seem to have another caller. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Give us your question, please.
So, my question to you, INSAKA, is it true that when a woman gets vaccinated, she becomes barren? Because those are the things that they're telling us in the communities. Me, I'm scared. I'm very young. I haven't yet started giving birth. And I'm not ready to be barren. So I would rather storm the weather and get better with COVID, because I know people have reduced on dying, then I'll be barren. What is the truth here?
So
it seems
run us through.
Your concern is
we
the
are
same as
a lot. It's not just me,
Yes,
though.
and I think, Doc, we've already talked about that. I don't know what else you can talk about because we're talking about barrenness. I think it's something that you already attended to.
Yes.
So just run us through.
Okay, yeah. So far there have been no cases of barrenness associated with COVID.
Okay.
People who are vaccinated are still having children, are still having twins, triplets, whatever God wanted them to have, they are having. Okay. The only thing that we have noted is that in the women who do get pregnant and they get the disease COVID, they'll have miscarriages. The chances of them having miscarriages is high, as opposed to the women who are pregnant and they got vaccinated. Those are having very okay pregnancies.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was watching a certain Christian show, I think, before certain things were controlled. So, you know, there's a group of people that don't take vaccines.
Yes, the anti-vaxxers.
Yes, it doesn't matter if it is polio, if it is what. So they said one of the elements in the vaccine is a fetus. So that's why they're not taking it.
Okay.
So if you're able to just give us clarity on what really is in the vaccine, maybe people will be convinced that way.
Okay, so I wasn't there when they were making the vaccine. Let's start from there. So I wasn't there when they were making it. But then I know for sure there is no fetus in there. What I know from my personal experience is that before I got vaccinated, I had COVID 3 times. That was from 2019 to 2020. After I got vaccinated, the whole 2021, I have not had COVID. COVID-free. So if that is not evidence of the fact that this vaccine works, I don't know what is.
Vaccine and the booster itself.
Yes, and the booster, and I was fine.
So what you're saying is the booster is a must.
The booster is a must. Especially if you notice you've got an underlying condition, the booster is the one for you. Okay. Okay. Make sure that you get boosted. If you know that you move around a lot, which we all do, make sure you get boosted. If you know that you deal with clients being children in a classroom, patients in a hospital, church members, okay, marketeers, is it people coming to buy from your shop? And that is nearly everybody. I'm basically describing everybody. So if you know you deal with in such things, you need a boost of the booster vaccine.
So doctor, here is a pregnant woman, umuntu efumo. Naisa na kwa tefumo mwamsanga ali COVID positive. Is it a must that tunaulia mwana wako etemala kutasenda COVID? What do you do? Is there a way to protect or prevent umwana ulia mkwambulo bubulwele elo mlepo shabanyina nangu naonga ngafyalwa kula balo kale fyalwa afyemwa gatonkola filafine mtonkola. How do you go about?
So unfortunately, whilst she's pregnant, there's nothing we can do about the fetus. Okay. So
but
the chances
treat
are
the woman, the mother.
We treat the mother. So remember, COVID is about symptomatic treatment. We have heard of ivermectin, we have heard of chloroquine, we've heard of what? No one is even asking. Those people are making chloroquine. Why isn't COVID reducing in their countries? Why are they still dying? Us in Africa, we're still alive. Okay, so that's the thing. So there's no specific treatment to COVID. What you can do instead is prevent COVID through the 5 golden rules and get vaccinated as the 6th golden rule. That's what we need to be preaching to each other. You know, I think even as pastors start, good morning church, 5 golden rules, let's go.
Okay, doctor, you can hold it right there. We have a caller. We seem to have a caller. You can give us your question, please.
If getting vaccinated lowers the spread of the virus, why are we getting more than 2 jabs?
Okay, so so I think I mentioned basically that they said while getting more than 2 jabs, the last one is a booster. It's simply meant to boost the immunity. We want the immunity to be at its most to protect us from the severe forms of the disease. That's it. Severe forms. So you get mild forms of the disease. People who got infected and who got the jab, the vaccine, and had COVID, they were saying, no, you know, that's the good experience, and that's what we want. We don't want to be visiting ICU all the time.
No.
Yes.
So we have a caller.
We seem to have another caller.
Yes, it's a caller. You're welcome.
Nilikuwa nafunzo nambera tukalasa vaccine nga tusona mwemo panado dwaranizona.
Doc.
Okay, let me phrase it this way. So people say before you go get the vaccine, you need to take paracetamol, Panadol, because you have a fever. So you need to take it in advance. Or after, I remember when I got my vaccine, someone actually told me, you have your vaccine now, please take paracetamol because you have fever. So why are we doing that?
No, there's actually no need to take paracetamol or anything. The babies, when they get vaccinated with BCG, they do have a bit of a fever, but it resolves on its own. Everyone who has been vaccinated, who didn't take medicine, it resolved on its own. So we also don't need to take this. You know, remember that the body is a functional system. Don't take medication unnecessarily. Yes, you might cause other problems to arise.
What's your still there where you're saying do not take medicine unnecessarily? So what exactly do they use at the hospitals to treat COVID? Because we have people diagnosing themselves, I have COVID, and then I'm going to prescribe myself. And we've got, there's illegal pharmacies everywhere. They'll give you what you want. So we have people taking azithromycin and vitamin C. So what really is it that people should take and is self-medicating?
So let me start with, at the center, what we do is supportive treatment. If you come with a low BP, we'll boost the BP. If you come with headache, perpetual headache, we'll deal with the elevated fever, we'll deal with that. If you come with, we find that you've got COVID, and then bacteria has taken advantage of the fact that you have COVID in order to raise your temperature and what we now give you azithromycin to treat that bacterial infection, not to treat the exact. Biotic is bacteria. Well, coronavirus is a virus. So when you take azithromycin, you're not protecting yourself from the virus,
but from the bacteria.
Bacteria that comes with the virus. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Since we have another call, it seems people like you, Doc. So we are just going to take this call. Give us your question, please.
I just want to find out, like, I mean, enda viral. Kuti ukalasisa kaili suzapangika sunangaye na mwana izakala kwa situation funa mutuze ko so apa so timamvira chemosiana sia. So we just want to find out from you, but doctor.
And
yes.
People are afraid.
And now it's a man now.
Oh yes. No, even men. But as I was saying earlier on, I have. Ever since I got vaccinated, I've had a child. So I think it doesn't really cause, not even really, it doesn't cause impotence. There have been no increase in the number of cases of impotence among men or women who are vaccinated. It has changed nothing. It has changed nothing. If you are impotent, you were impotent before the vaccine.
So you are just lying for the vaccine. It has nothing to do with the
God
vaccine.
now. You deal with God.
So there's something that I want you to address also. Is there any diet, or maybe I see people taking herbs, ginger, cinnamon, grind this, do that, and it cures or maybe prevents. What is it that you have to tell us, the concoction, us and the viewers? Lesambira pwench tulenda pakulya balakwe batutwe ginger obulama lemon ubulo muso kansoka na mabwaya isabatenta bala posha COVID kuli chakulya chinga posho obulwelo obwafu mo bwatuteberera COVID-19.
So I'll tell you this is the concoction you should use. I hope the people who are listening are taking it. One, in the morning, drink 2 liters of water. 2, have a good breakfast. 3, at lunch, make sure you're satisfied with a healthy meal.
A healthy meal is the key
healthy
word.
meal with carbohydrates, proteins, and bodybuilding foods, everything. Then in between, make sure you get your exercise in. At supper, have a good meal, not too heavy. Okay, a light meal, sleep. In the morning, repeat.
Okay.
In between, add fruits. That is the concoction. Don't trouble yourself. I've seen people steaming themselves. They're just giving the virus water to drink. That's all.
But then they say that as you are inhaling the steam, it opens up your sinuses, and then you feel better.
If it works for them, that's better. But then if you are having a condition which causes you congestion, it's better to go to the hospital, I think. If you don't have COVID and you have a condition which you know that when you steam yourself, you feel better, that condition needs you to go to the hospital. It can turn bad when you have COVID.
No, so it's better you just instead of
all that.
Okay. Yes. So for me, doctor, psychiatry is something that is so close to home. So the way we have HIV-induced psychosis, do we have COVID-induced psychosis?
Yes, actually, there was some studies that came out showing that we had about 2 patients in Britain who suffered confusion-like episodes whilst they had COVID. So believe me, if it can happen that side, even here it can happen. And I believe that if we ask the consultants who've been working in the COVID center, we've had cases. We are not different from the human beings who are in the West. No, we've probably had cases. But yes, that side they are reporting that there is incidences of what they call encephalitis, confusion when you have COVID.
So, doctor, another question that I have is that if like you are found COVID positive, right? You take your medication and you stay home. Is there a way how you cannot contract it again? Apart from the vaccine, are there kuliko na thing defo mutwe bakwefe tulingire okuchitapa kwati tuyambula buli obulwere?
Okay, that's a very beautiful question. It's like this. 5 golden
rules. Can you just go through?
I should even be asking you to see
what are the 5 golden rules?
So the first golden rule, stay at home. Avoid the crowded places. That's the first golden rule. The next golden rule is that put on a mask. Okay? Don't be asking in the studio here. You can see that we insisted on distancing. We shouldn't be able to touch each other. Okay. The next golden rule is that put on a mask. This mask, make sure that you handle it very well. Don't touch the front part; it's very infected. And always sanitize your hands when you've touched the mask. If you don't have a mask and you have to sneeze, sneeze into your elbow. And then when sanitizing, sanitize your hands. The next golden rule is obviously sanitizing. Okay, sanitizing. We have talked about giving space. We've talked about no greeting people. Don't touch them. Okay, and then get vaccinated. This is the one that has brought us here. Get vaccinated is actually the greatest protection you can have. Though the next greatest protection is sanitizing, because sanitizing kills the virus. The mask prevents you from getting the virus. Social distance prevents you from coming in contact. It's only sanitization that kills the virus. Yes, and the vaccine. Yes.
So, Doc, I think my question would be, is it high time we started treating it as flu? Like, let's just get vaccinated, 5 golden rules, but then live with it. Life goes on. The new normal. It's just there to stay.
So we treat it like HIV rather. Oh yes, no, HIV. I remember a long time ago. It was something we always talked about, but these days it's just that
like
kind
any
of HIV.
other,
Yes, but then with the flu, there is a chance that it might be becoming seasonal. It might be becoming that's the coronavirus infection might be seasonal. But then the problem is that it may be seasonal, but then when you have the infection and you die. To your family, it's not seasonal. It's not seasonal. Okay? So we need to protect ourselves, keep ourselves safe, and eventually, remember we had polio once upon a time. Through vaccination, what happened is that polio is gone. Okay? We've had so many diseases like that. And that's what we want to do also for coronavirus and COVID. Let it be gone in the name of the vaccine. Okay.
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much. We are just going to take a quick break, but when we'll be back, you are just going to conclude for us. Stay tuned. Welcome back and thank you for tuning in. Before the break, we took your questions. The doctor was answering your questions and your concerns. And I hope your questions were answered because mine were answered. I'm sure Barbara's questions were answered as well. So, doctor, just in a nutshell, from the top, what do you have to say to our viewers out there? What is it that you can say?
So,
please take your time. Make them understand, clear the myths and misconceptions there.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to know that it's a virus. It has no treatment at the moment, just controlling measures which we do at the hospital. And the last thing would be swag. Stay home, wash your hands, always have a mask on and give space. And V, get vaccinated. Swag V. This is, if you are going to take anything from this talk, swag V. Stay home, wash your hands, always give space, always put on a mask and give space, get vaccinated. Very simple.
So inena bwela kuli imwe na kabiri na chitayi but ifena tusambirila ati vaccination iyo ati mwe bantu triple something iyo mark of the beast. So ba doctor batweba so mukulanda na ifwe mule tuchita encourage no mukukosele shashani baba leta mba ukuya mukulaswa inshindano ya kuchingirira obulwere bwa COVID.
So it's very urgent that you get vaccinated. If not for yourself, for your neighbor. If you're a Christian, you claim to love your neighbor. Get vaccinated to protect them from getting COVID. Get vaccinated so that this pandemic can end. We are tired. Even us in the hospital, we are tired.
Sure.
Get vaccinated and help us end this pandemic.
So is the vaccine also for our brothers, our Muslim brothers? Because maybe it's not halal.
Oh, no. It's for them. It's for any human being with 2 ears, 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
So have Muslims been coming through to get the vaccine?
Yes. Different nationalities. It's like we see rainbows. Different colors of people, different religions are coming through.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so now the way it is, there was a time we're told to say umuntu wonse afuile alaswa ngataula shirwe takuli kuingira mshopu ngataula shirwe. How was mletwe bachani mwenga ba doctor, we want to get the first hand information. Do I have to volunteer to test umlandu wafyo na sambirira lelo na ngundea mkulaswa umlandu wakati ndeko nkobuteko bule mpatikisha mkulaswa?
One thing is that no one should force you. What should force you is your conscience, your heart. Let God guide you into the knowledge that He's protecting you through everything. You shall walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear nothing.
Deeper side, dog.
Thank you. That's what I like here. Go deeper.
Go deeper.
So you see, He protects through everything. Okay, and you can see people who got vaccinated, they are still alive. Women who are vaccinated still have children. So do this to protect our old people, our people who are vulnerable from getting COVID, and also do this to protect us from this pandemic. Let it end. We are tired. We are tired. Yes.
Dr.
Do your part.
Zambia is very big.
Yes.
It's very big. How sure are you that the same measures that I put in place in Lusaka, where people are getting vaccinated in different vaccination points, is it the same thing that we have maybe in Sinazongwe,
villages, typical?
We have Chilubi Island.
We have statistics, daily statistics that are showing that people are getting vaccinated in the villages. If anything, their uptake is even a bit better than us in town, and they are more protected than us. That's why you notice we have more severe diseases here, because that side they are more protected. They're getting the vaccine.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you for joining us. And coming in and joining us, we thank you, and for giving us your wise words, we really appreciate. Like you said, if there's something that we need to take out from this interview is swag V.
Thank you.
Swag V. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Tulesubilana msambirira ifingi ife kuno twaipakisha no mtu yoto atwato welelo.
I cannot emphasize this enough, but there is always someone that is always ready and available to listen to you. They want to listen to what you have to say. They want to hear your concerns. They want to hear your fears, and they want to help you. So get calling. Dial that number on your screen. Talk to someone. You can't do this alone. We're in this together.
uyu mulungu panchende ino ine kunatukwata omutwe uyo uli very exciting yuleba ati ushe ukulipira lobola nangu impango nibuka bwalala mukabe na ifwe tukaipakishe na kabiri.
See you next week. Don't forget to smile for somebody.